I'm William.
And I'm Media Boys. I've changed my name. I'm going full hog, baby. But also,
2021.
my previous name, it was Chris. So
the artist formerly known as Chris.
you
The
might
media
still
boy,
hear
formerly known as Chris. Yeah.
you might still hear people refer to me as that. They're wrong, but I was once that, so it's fine, I guess. Okay. Well, let me tell you something, folks. There's when was the last time I recorded? Like 2 weeks ago? Wow.
Yeah,
we
about
gotta
that.
we gotta pick up the pace here. There's just there's so much to cover. There's so much to cover, and it's all leaving my mind like dust in the wind. Okay. I like what do you want to cover, huh? What do you think? What do you think's important that we've been not discussing?
What have you been doing, Chris? What have you been up to? Right?
Well, folks, you guys know this already, but the folks at home don't. My PS5 is on its way. It's loaded it up in the truck.
Woo!
Well, they're gonna load it up in the truck and bring it to the store, and then I have to pick it up. But that's exciting. It's happening. I'm finally gonna be able to play PS4 games, but in higher quality and with
bug snacks.
Faster load time.
I'm so excited.
It's about time.
Play Bug Snacks on your PS5.
Yeah, come on over. But you gotta bring some beer and you gotta share.
Okay, as long as you share the Bug Snacks.
Beer and Bug Snacks sounds good to me.
Beer, bugs, and Bug Snacks, the 3 Bs.
But I guess what I wanted to say about that was, I beat the bots. Those bots. Chris won. Bots. Actually multiple, probably at least a dozen points they got because I've been hunting for that thing for a while. And you know what? It's finally well, it's gonna be in my little dirty claws in about a week. Very nice.
Your little grummy hands. My grimy ass.
To all of our listeners, this is a perfect description of Chris. So keep going, William.
Yeah, his fucking grubby ass, stubbed fingers.
Oh yeah,
long fingernails.
Don't forget the sweat, like the massive.
So sweaty.
All right. Well,
hair on the top of them, hair on the inside of them. You know why?
Wait, you're describing my hands.
Oh no.
That's actually a very kind description of my hands.
Chris has hairy palms, and you all know why.
But look, you guys are normal-handed folks. I want to hear from some normal-handed guys. Okay. What about you? What's a poppin' in your neighborhood, huh?
In my neighborhood? You talking to me?
No, I was looking at William, but you can't see me on the webcam. But what about you, Nathan? Huh?
Oh yeah, I'll take over.
For the folks at home, I don't have a webcam. They can't see me.
Yeah, I wish. I miss your beautiful face, Chris.
It's like I'm hiding in the fog.
Yeah, but recently I put out a new song on Bandcamp. I'm gonna go ahead and just plug hivecombs.bandcamp.com. Got a new song. Give it a listen. Nice little ambient track. Otherwise, I've been working and watching movies. That's been my life.
I've been doing this MIDI Boys thing. Also, I've been playing Scott Pilgrim, the game. And last weekend I blew up a little bit when Ray, the achievement hunter, saw my name, Mark Ruffalo, my gamer tag on stream, and thought I was the real Mark Ruffalo. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was
a good time.
Right, that is. I think that should have been top of the show. Mentioning that, that's a big thing. You got our boy William here went viral.
I know.
Okay, he's
like 50,000 views or something.
Yeah, don't leave our show, please.
You're a star now.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, William Doyle, they're out there. They're putting their name out there, getting Media Boys viewed by Rooster Teeth guys.
Yeah. I also got number 1 on the leaderboards for Scott Pilgrim the day it came out. So
nice. I love how the Rooster Teeth guy thought you were real just because you had the little green check mark emoji.
That's the green. Yeah, it's a fucking emoji.
That's so good.
Right. So one day, I'm sure Jeremy Renner will become also viral.
Yeah, or Kate Blanchett.
Maybe
Kate Blanchett.
Maybe if we all are in an Xbox party together and someone stumbles upon that.
One can hope.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something I'm forgetting? I feel like other stuff has happened too.
It's been like 2 weeks. We got a new president.
New
That's good.
president.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. That's what good. You brought me there because look, under Trump, all right, you say what you will. Wait, all this stuff happened, whatever. What really mattered was I didn't have a PS5 under Trump. Under Biden, day one.
Day one.
Oh
Day
my
one,
God.
I get a PS5. And you know what, folks? Look, I have my own trepidations about this Biden fella. I have my own issues. I could go on. I could write a
Wow.
list of things I have problems with about him. But you know what? This is turning it around. All right. He's done so much more for me than Trump has ever done.
That was. Are you saying that was like one of his executive orders? Day one.
Chris from Media Boys Podcast needs a PS5.
Give Chris a PS5.
And to that, I say, Biden, please come on the show. Please. We just got licensed.
Hey, Joey, if you got time,
hey,
come
Jack.
on down this way.
Hey, Jack. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Fat? I'm going to tell you something right now, buddy. Back in my day, we didn't have PS5s, man. You know what we had? We'd watch rotisserie chicken rotating in the stove.
Spinning around.
That was a good time for us, man. Man, I used to go down to the Cracker Jack factory. We'd watch that. We watched the little fellas there kick balls and hey, man, you got to butter your pancakes some of the time, but not every Tuesday, or else it'll be Wednesday again. You know what I'm saying, Jack?
Oh yeah.
Well, listen here, Fat. I think if there's no other news, there's probably some other stuff, right? Today I went to Goodwill. I got this another movie fun time board game. I like collecting fun time movie board games. This is very left field, but I think it would be fun if we made a YouTube video or a series
Like a board
where
game
we play
that'd be
weird,
fun.
well, a movie trivia board game.
Okay, yeah.
I'd be down
dig
them.
it.
I'd down to do a video like that.
We have to explain the rules also. Do like a little overview.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be a lot of fun. Like set up a camera.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I'm digging it. I'm into it.
Yeah. Big face reveal, right?
Yeah, I'll finally reveal my face to you too.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point in wasting any more time? Might as well get to our 3 pieces of media. Of course, this is Media Boys, a show where we watch, play, listen. 3 friends pick 3 pieces of media, and then we watch, play, and listen. Okay, and then we talk about it. All right, that's what this podcast is. If it's your first time listening, all right. And also, if it's your first time listening, what the hell were you doing the past? Was it 27 episodes before this?
Yeah.
Episode 28.
Yeah. 3 friends pick 3 media.
Were you blowing air at your ass all day? I'm not mad at you. I think we could be friends. We could be friends, right? Listen with the listeners. Yeah, we could be new listeners. Hey, best friends.
Hello, welcome,
William.
Thanks for joining us.
William will kiss you if you ever.
I'll kiss you.
If he sees you in person.
And
not in a sexual way. Not in a sexual way.
Only if we both have been vaccinated.
Perfect.
Like a plan.
Wow.
I'll kiss you.
I'll take you up on it, buddy.
And then
that was really that was a trap. Actually, I want you to kiss me. I've trapped you.
I wanna say what the movie is this week.
Okay, I guess you could do that. Whatever.
Wait, you don't want to talk about kissing anymore?
Not till vaccines are.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine. Talk about the last exorcism.
Oh, yes.
The last
exorcism.
This is the the exorcism.
Exorcism is alive and well. The Bible is filled with demons. If you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. We're looking for the Sweetser farm.
You want to make a U-turn, and then I want you to go back where you came from.
Please, go!
Seems like the end of the road. Mr. Sweetser, how you doing? Cotton Marcus.
My wife died 2 years ago. It's quite a shock for Nell.
Were you very close?
She was my best friend.
Somehow, the devil got in her.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Nothing to be nervous about.
What is that? It's coming through my skin. Please help. Get it out of me.
Let him come now.
So this is the movie I picked was The Last Exorcism. It's about a guy, forgot his name, so that's good. Off to a great start. It's about a preacher who's not really, well, he doesn't really believe in God, but he grew up around it and is performing his last and final exorcism. And he performed a shit ton of exorcisms, and he's like, yeah, they're all fake. It's sleight of hand, it's magic. I'm providing a service to people who need it the way they need it. And that's the movie. It's his last one. It's framed as a documentary.
With found footage.
I believe they called The Last Exorcism the money shot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the money shot happens towards the beginning, actually.
Yeah.
It's surprising when it happens.
Yeah, time code 1533 for anybody that needs to cut right to it.
Yeah.
To let you know.
Thank you. Or
Thanks, comments.
you can always watch it on 2x speed if you really feel like it. This film was directed by Daniel Stamm. Daniel Stamm. I'm on Google right now, and under the film series, it doesn't say The Exorcism, it says The Exorcism. What?
The Exorcism.
They got a nice typo.
Great. Thanks,
Anyway,
Google.
The Last Exorcism was released in 2010.
Right in that found footage hype era when that was like the big thing to do.
When found footage was booming, baby. Do you remember that hullabaloo? I mean, is this all real, man? Is this really happening? Yeah, all movies are real, dumbass.
Dummy.
You actually made a really good point about found footage movies, right? Me and Chris watched this together. And right before we left, you made a great point about found footage movies where you kind of know what's going to happen because the movie's never been released. So you kind of know they're going to die.
It's in the title. I mean, of the genre, found footage. That suggests that whoever was filming this is dead and or I don't know, went missing, and
they found it.
Came along and found the footage, and I guess edited it together, added titles, music, and in this case, I feel like The Last Exorcism is more of like a mockumentary, type of film.
Yeah, I could see that
because
that's like the setup.
When something becomes found footage, usually found footage would be like, I don't know, someone was like just filming randomly with their phone and making like a vlog, right? Hell, I mean, found footage would be more believable today than it was back then. When 2010 was not long ago. I mean, you could still film stuff with your phone, but like visual quality has gone up so much, and people are constantly making vlogs, and I mean, people have cameras in their houses.
But I mean, like the series is still, it's not as strong, but you still see them like in Searching and stuff like that, where it's like a kind of a different take on it.
Another one would be Spree, which is kind of not really
Spree
found
is really
footage,
good.
but like people are cutting together their own footage in a more classical way than they've ever have, right? Editing is so much faster, and you could do it, with streaming and everything. You do things so much faster. So I get why found footage isn't really a thing anymore, but because the bubble kind of popped, people got sick of it.
Yeah,
but like it was all in service of kind of the same thing, which was either
people weren't losing footage anymore.
Our phones keep it all.
Yeah. Goddamn Facebook and all its found footage.
No one's
right
putting
there
all
on
their
the internet.
footage on a series of VHS tapes and leaving it in a creepy house.
Yeah.
But yes, let's talk about the movie.
Yeah.
Right at the bat, Patrick Fabian is the main guy in this film. And if you don't know who that is if you've seen Better Call Saul, he's Howard Hamlin in Better Call Saul.
He does the voice of Superman in the DC cartoons.
He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Superman.
Yep,
Superman's
he's
in this one,
Superman.
guys.
Yeah.
Is he Superman in those movies?
Unless I'm thinking of a different. Someone in this movie does the voice of Superman.
He voices Cyborg Superman.
Cyborg Superman.
So still
Ooh.
Superman. Still
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's like a found footage documentary style film. Patrick Fabian plays, like a fraudulent priest, and the first 30 minutes of the film don't play up the horror element as much. They're kind of
Yeah.
just like,
It's like a comedy.
it's all set up. Yeah, it is more like comedy, and that's where I think that's the best part of the movie. It's
Yeah, I
kinda-
agree.
Yeah, I do too.
It's kind of a genius setup. I mean, they're playing on our own expectations. Like you would expect, it's become like a trope of like exorcism movies where it's like the priest is losing his faith. I mean, we talked about The Exorcist. We did an Exorcist episode on here where we talked about, Damien, that character. His whole thing is that he's losing his faith in God, and that's what leads him to The Exorcist in some way. And that was, we're Exorcist heads. We like that movie a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Media Boys is pro Exorcist. Great film. So they do that here, but playing on our modern expectations, like obviously, who believes in,
Yeah.
in exorcism? People are more cynical.
Yeah.
And stuff. We've seen it all. So the fact that they do a thing where it's like the guy's playing it up and using,
Yeah.
fake audio to mess with
Special
people,
effects.
his own special
stuff.
effects.
It's such a interesting concept because that scene is edited so well where they do the fake exorcism
With the
and
exorcism,
it's and it's cut in with like, oh, this is how I just did the thing you just saw, like all sleight of hand stuff.
Yeah.
Really is a lot of fun, like to watch that. Like I could watch a whole movie of this guy just going around performing fake exorcisms. It'd probably be a good time.
Like different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we have that setup, and I think that setup is great. But then it kind of gets into I don't know, what it does with that setup isn't as interesting as I think what could have been with that setup, right? Like you could have gone in a much different direction. I thought, because it sets up in the beginning as a family, I thought maybe, he tricks these people, does his final exorcism, he's like, I'm done with this stuff, goes home, and then like, I don't know, his son is possessed, right? Or something, and then maybe for some reason he has to return to the previous people because like he exorcised the demon and then brought it home with him.
And brought it home.
Oh,
Like,
Could have done
actually.
something like
that
that.
would be wild.
That would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
They could have done something like that. Though it's the lady that he does the fake exorcism on turns out to be actually possessed.
Yeah.
That is
By the same demon
twist.
that he says, yeah, this is the one that possesses her.
Yeah, which is wild.
Which is pretty I don't know, convenient.
A little
Yeah,
convenient.
exactly.
There's a lot of these little conveniences in
Well,
the movie.
I thought that's what they were setting up was like, oh, she like somehow overheard that's the demon he mentioned, so she was just faking being like, oh yeah, that's the demon that's possessing me. And kind of further set that up.
Yeah, and it kind of plays with that a little. Like she's faking, and that could have, I guess, been something. Maybe she's just a psycho, like she's killing animals and stuff. But can you really do that? They did the fake out. They do a fake out later on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we don't have to spoil the exact ending, like what actually happens in the end. But like, it's a fake out. They do the fake out in the beginning, and then in the next hour, at the hour mark, they do another fake out where it's like, oh, she's not actually possessed. Oh, is she?
And then she is. And then she
is.
And then she is for real.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Something that was funny that we were talking about was how usually in found footage movies there's no like editing, like title cards. Like at the beginning of this movie, there's like title cards for the people. It says their name and who they are. But this is found footage. Right? So like how is there like a post-production
Oh yeah,
this thing, and then like
it's a
Chris brought up like, oh yeah, we're leaving in that cat killing scene, leaving that in the movie. Like somebody like edited this
hmm
as part of the movie.
Yeah, you're right. And like that's interesting because like, one of the first found footage movies, Cannibal Holocaust, like that movie's about them editing the footage they found. So they find the footage and it's them editing it, and it's like the idea of like, should I be editing this? Should this happen? And and I guess like this is just like you don't even think about that. This is our editor. We did this.
And like look at Blair Witch, where it feels like we're just going through footage that was shot on a camera, right? And that's also about documentarians too, because they're making a documentary and then they end up in this situation. Now, so yeah, that's the same thing that happens here. There are documentarians decide to follow around an exorcist on his last job because he's given up on it. And it's not like he's given up on it, like the same way Damien has, where it's like Damien's like on the, he could just kill, he wants to kill himself basically.
Yeah.
This guy has a reason because
done with it.
He's sick of the way exorcisms, like the culture, I guess, and like the amount of people that have suffered because of exorcisms, and all the children that have died.
Yeah, because that was the part that was like kind of haunting at the beginning when he talks about like, oh, I saw that like a kid died because of this, and I knew like this is wrong, and I was like, it's interesting because that's something that's happened.
Yeah, that feels like like an actual real thing, like a real thing about exorcisms coming into this film, and just all the issues they've caused, which I thought was clever. I liked that. So he ends up going to backwoods. Was it New Orleans?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh no, that's where he's from.
Oh, okay.
He's from Baton Rouge.
Marcus arrives at the Louisiana farm of devout Louis Sweetzers. It's in Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't travel far. They make it seem like he travels like a crazy amount.
Yeah, we're right next door. Come on.
Yeah.
Bud.
I don't remember where he's from, but it does feel like a city slicker going into the South.
Well, that's what.
And he thinks they're all stupid backwoods guys, and the dad himself is a stereotype, which is like, he wants old God shit happening, Wrath of God type of stuff.
Yeah.
Old Testament type of deal.
Yeah, Old Testament man.
And he wants to teach,
none of that new shit.
Yeah, I don't want any of that new stuff.
Forgiveness, fuck that.
They went a little bit too far with that update to the Bible. I'll just say that.
Bible's 2. The Bible 1 is much better than Bible 2.
Believe me, okay. All right. So yeah, so you get a bit of that, and that's all. Like it's in a comedic sense, kind of fun, right? It's pretty fun, good setup. And then the rest of the movie happens, and I don't think it's not bad. It's pretty decent, I think.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I like it up to a certain point. I like really late in the movie. I think it's interesting. I think it's well filmed. It can be tense. It's more. I think it's less about fear and more just like watching and looking and seeing everything going on, because it definitely takes him a while to be like, this is real. Like he's very against this being real for a long time.
Yeah. It just falls into kind of a typical territory. I think the first act has a lot of potential, and I think that's the best part of the movie. So it's kind of disappointing that the rest of the movie is just like, yeah, none of this really is too shocking. We're falling into, basic found footage territory,
The at the last scene, they add in like static effects, and those are not good.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it like disrupts the whole way the movie is till then.
Yeah, the last, I think it's like 10 minutes. I don't want to spoil too much. I just really don't like it. Something about that ending really just doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't feel right. Like you said, they're static and they just like cut out a lot, but I don't understand why it was doing that.
Yeah, it had no reason. Because like it doesn't skip time. It just statics.
Yeah, it's weird.
It starts doing effects, and I don't know if their budget was that big, and I don't think it doesn't look good. It's definitely a low budget film.
1.8 million.
1.8 million, yeah. So not. I mean, for a movie that just takes place in a house, basically.
Yeah.
They just had to
All the money went to those effects at the end. With the fire.
Possibly, yeah, probably. I mean, for 2010, I guess it's okay. Not saying effects are not bad then; they're pretty good.
Yeah. But like, yeah,
I think
they're not like terrible. They're not like dog shit.
The gore. I mean, the most gore you get, she murders a cat, and that looks pretty real.
Well,
like, that was pretty gross.
Caleb Landry Jones when he has the big cut on his mouth. I thought that was kind of gross. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Banshee.
Yeah,
first class.
Pretty good makeup in that sense.
Yeah.
William Dafoe's son.
Some of the contortionist stuff too, actually, like her body.
Which the brother in Get Out.
I mean, Patrick Fabian, Cotton, the character.
So much.
Cotton, how stupid can you be to think that someone that's contortioning like that is not possessed by a demon? Right? Like, she's just doing that because she's stressed out because she's pregnant.
I guess. I don't know. I guess I was convinced that he because he had seen so many exorcisms that he just really, really didn't believe in it. You know what I mean? Like he dealt with them so much that he'd seen everything.
This is definitely fake. This is a mental illness, and she needs to see a psychiatrist.
And like as a viewer, of course, we're seeing The Last Exorcism. We know that this girl's like she has a demon. That's just it's a horror movie. That's what it is.
Yeah.
In that scene where he realizes she's not actually possessed is just because she says blowing job.
Yeah, blowing job.
Blow job. Mm-hmm. Which is okay, I guess. But I will say she was speaking Latin. She was speaking Latin.
Speaking Latin.
But blowing job. Oh, that
the demon would know that that's wrong. He knows what that demon. He's gotten a few blowjobs,
Yeah, this demon has been around.
Oh yeah,
there's tons of blowjobs.
He's killing it there.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask, dude. Is it really that bad of a place? Then,
Tex? What?
They say it's a bad place, but everyone's getting BJs down there. I don't know.
Right? Blowing jobs?
Yeah, a good old blowing job.
That's what they call them.
Look, I'll say this. This is going to be my hot take on a hot subject. Maybe the devil's not such a bad guy. He does hurt the bad people, right?
Yeah, true.
Right? He puts
hurt the bad people.
He punishes bad people. So how is he a bad guy? I don't know. People maybe say a little bit too many negative things about him. All right, final thoughts.
The last thoughts. For maybe like the first 40, 50 minutes, and then I think the ending just kind of it's weak, and I think the last 10 minutes kind of killed the experience for me. But it's still a movie I'd recommend somebody watch because I think it's interesting what it does in the first first bit. Yeah,
the setup for this movie is so good. I don't know. I recommend it.
Yeah, I think this movie. Wait, is this movie really rated PG-13?
I could see it.
Really? I mean, there's not.
Kill a cat.
There's like a really
not
gruesome
even on camera.
There's a lot of blood and guts in that scene.
Yeah.
Wow, that got a PG-13. Okay.
Watch it with your kids.
Watch it with your cats. Wake
up little Timmy.
I will
Get him to come out
echo.
and watch it.
I think I feel the same way you guys do in the sense that the setup is much better than the payoff, but I think there's still enough here to make this movie passable. It's for a movie titled The Last Exorcism with a cover that makes it look like any old Exorcist ripoff. I think there's it's surprisingly pretty good. It's a pretty decent film, and you get I say passable recommendation. If you like found footage movies and you haven't seen it, check it out. And I like found footage movies, and I did check it out. Oh,
All right.
boy. let's get to our next
What do
little
we play?
piece of
Oh.
media.
Yeah. We played Yakuza 0, published by Sega. It is the prequel to the Yakuza series. Came out in 2015 in Japan for the PlayStation 3 and PS4. Didn't come out into America until 2017. You play as Kiryu Kazuma and Goro Majima, and it's just Yakuza stuff. It's like it's the best way a lot of people put it is it's similar to GTA, but maybe with a bit more like RPG elements. There's also beat 'em up combat. There's also mini games. There's a ton of stuff for you to do, subplots. It's a huge game. This game's going to take you over 100 hours to do everything. Yeah, that's the explanation of this. I don't want to go too deep into the story because there is a lot to it, but I definitely want to talk about some of my favorite sub stories. But first, I'll say, what did you guys think of this game?
I am having a blast with it. It's really fun to play. I really like the combat isn't too crazy, right? It's just like light, heavy, grab.
Yeah, it's
dodge,
like it's like
block.
a simple like beat 'em up type deal.
Yeah, and that's very enjoyable. It's got different stances you can do, so you get different combos and stuff. And the combat system is kind of like a what you'd see in like a RPG, where it's like kind of like random encounters, I guess. But you see the enemy out there, and then when you get hit by the enemy, you go into a combat phase, like in like an RPG. And yeah, I think that's really cool. It's fun.
Yeah, it's
Kind of like Okami. If you played that.
It's a fixed world, and by that I mean, it's not like you're gonna be. How am I describe this? It's not like you're gonna be stealing cars like it's GTA or something. Like you're not, you're not going. It's not like a sandbox in that sense. And I'm just trying to, you probably would. Someone maybe hearing that this is a crime game would immediately their brain would go to GTA. It is not. It's not like GTA. It is. I think what strikes me the most about Yakuza is how it very much feels like its own thing. Like I don't know if there's really anything I've played that is like this game, right?
No.
Like you could say certain things like you could say GTA, but I don't think it is like GTA.
Yeah, I think GTA is just kind of like the closest American thing I could say, but it's not like it. Like you said, no car stealing. You don't really kill people on the street.
Well, what I like about Yakuza is it is very story focused, but it also says to you, hey, look, you can mess around. You can go play some mini games. You can go do sub stories. But at the same time, it is still super story focused. Even when you could go off on tangents. Sure, keep doing sub story after sub story. The game throws you into the sub stories. It doesn't give you like a dot on the map and it's like, yeah, I could go over there if I want to. No, you'll walk down an alleyway and you end up in the sub story. It's almost like it's part of the main story. So it's like constantly reminding you that of the bigger story, of the things that are happening, even when maybe not necessarily the most important stuff is happening, right? Because the sub stories involve your character, be it Kiryu or Majima, in situations that supplement those characters. They kind of build up those characters. They're not just criminals. These aren't just characters that are out for their own or something. They're helping people actually, and I think that makes them into like anti-heroes.
Yeah, they feel like full-fledged people. Like almost everybody feels like a person, and I think that's really cool.
And for a game that has such the story is taken very seriously. The fact that it can do these weird sub stories and like weird mini games, and they feel so playful, but they don't detract from like that serious tone from the story is so well done.
It's like a nice like levity to like this really like I guess like a very deep serious story, and you get like a sub story that'll make you laugh in the middle of all that. But like you said, it doesn't take away from these characters. If anything, it adds to their characters. Like I think Kiryu is so interesting as a character. Like, yeah, it's like we talked about, just very serious, but in the sub stories you get that nice, like, you get a different side of him. So he's not.
But he's still the same person, right? Like you can see his like, even though he's a little more loose because he's like not on the job, but like he still acts the same, but is a little looser, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, his story kind of goes in like a noir direction. It becomes about kind of real estate. And revolving around one specific point in the map, which is an empty lot. And I love that. You know, that is a big theme in just noir films in general, detective stories, things of the matter. It always involves like some shady organization or some higher ups. And also, of course, the mafia, you know, the Yakuza, crime families. So it is a, you know, it's still it's a dense story. There's a lot happening. But Kiryu is a great, you know, it's a great character, great introduction. But I think on the other flip of the coin, Majima has what an amazing introduction for that character.
Dude, yeah, it's so good. Yeah, I don't. You didn't get to chapter 3, right, William?
I didn't. Not
Yeah,
yet, no.
but so this character Majima gets introduced, and he's so good. Like that intro, it's such a long cut scene, but what it becomes, it really is. It's I don't know. It's like nothing I've ever seen in a game before. It's very cinematic.
Yeah, and his storyline heads in a different direction than Kiryu's. Kiryu is about kind of getting out of the Yakuza and going in a different direction and trying to, I guess, you know, he's trying to solve a mystery, but also go get on his own, do his own thing. Whereas Majima is doing the complete opposite. He kind of has his own thing. Well, not really. It's not 100% his own. It's not 100% his own, but it seems like he's kind of, you know, has a good thing going. He's famous. People know him. He has a good thing going, but he's trying to get back into the Yakuza. Right.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
Okay.
And to be clear,
Yeah.
I just want to clarify. Yeah. That's not too much. That's not really a spoiler. I don't think that's a spoiler. That's just a
That's a good description.
Basic outline of a story. To be clear, I'm only on chapter 6. I'm at the end of chapter 6. But I did play for about 15 hours, I would say. And that gets to the point. This is a very big game.
Yeah. I'm in chapter 2 and I've been playing for like 7. So
now, Nathan, you 100% in this game. You sucked all the nectar out of this thing, right?
Oh no, I didn't 100% this one. I 100% in another one. This one, I'm working on the 100%. I think I hit about 80 hours now. I'm on my way there, and I'm loving every minute of it.
But you finished the story.
Oh yeah, I finished the story. Yeah, and let me tell you the Majima story. It's so good. Really, really, really good. What happens there? Actually, the whole game. And I will say what you were talking about with the Kiryu story. Because, you know, every Yakuza game takes place in the city. And I do want to talk about how much I love this city. It feels like a living, breathing city. Just like with everything, how it looks, like the neon, all the people walking around.
It's only a couple streets, right? It's like 12 streets maybe, if
it's
even.
Small. Yeah, exactly. And like
5 blocks.
Yeah, it's like very, very small. And you get to learn this. And it's like in almost all of this series. So you learn the city as you play. And you get to see it go through all the years because this game's set in the 80s. That's its big deal, is it's set in the 80s. And it's really neat. I think I've said this many times on the show, but it's a small world with a lot of detail. I forget where I was going with this, but
yeah, just how a world doesn't have to be super huge to be good.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
It's about the details and about the environment you inhabit and how it changes from day to night. And I think that's how chapters usually go, right? They start in the day, end at night.
Yeah, because it's usually just set through one whole day. That's kind of the idea.
I have to say something about this game. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
If you've ever played a anime game for the PS2,
Mm-hmm.
like Full Metal Alchemist, or just an action anime game, it plays very similarly to this, but where this is like an open world game, those are more linear in just terms of like the combat.
Well, I like what you said the other night was like, this is just as much anime as I can take.
Yeah, it is.
I
just
think
as
that's
much
really
anime as I can
good. Yeah.
That is a perfect description.
Yeah.
Because it still does. I mean, like, it still has some like some weird perverted stuff in it.
It does have weird perverted stuff. I was at the end of chapter 1, which has a big showdown in like a building, and like you're beating up all these people, and it's like a little over the top, but not like wildly over the top. It's like you drop kick a dude out a window. That's awesome, but it's not like you launch him to the moon.
It's like something
Right.
out of like a silly action movie, like you
Yeah.
would get. Yeah, no, it doesn't go too far. Like it does silly things, but not to like the extreme. You also said something that was like they still talk like normal human
They
beings.
talk like normal human beings.
Yeah.
Well, it's even when it does silly stuff, you still take it like in a way seriously because it's cool. Like I don't want people to think when I say when we say silly we mean bad.
No, that's
I love silly shit.
I like laughing.
The end of chapter 1 was so fucking awesome. I like every time I go into a new room, I was like, this is fucking rad. I don't really get excited about like action scenes like that.
Yeah.
It might be
because I think one thing is it takes its time setting stuff up. Like when I started this game, I started it probably summertime of last year, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to continue with this because in the first hour, I felt like I was like, I'm not really into this as much. I wasn't prepared for a game full of cutscenes and like a lot of dialogue. Right, I wasn't prepared, and I could see someone starting it up and having that same experience. But later on, I continued, and probably when I got to maybe the 6-hour mark, 7-hour mark, I was like, this is pretty great. I'm into this now. I understand why people love this so much. I love the world. I think these characters are great. I want to see. I'm really excited for what happens next. It is like it's like watching a great crime show.
Yeah.
Where you can do it's more unlike a movie in a show, you can do so much more because you have more time, right?
Yeah. You can take breaks to play stuff at the arcade. You can
it walks this fine line of like seriousness, silliness, action, comedy, drama so well. It's fucking incredible.
I can play this game like I play Animal Crossing, right? If I wanted to, I could just open this game and just walk around the world and just talk to people, see what weird shit they have to say, play some games. And you mentioned, Nathan, sub-stories, and you said you had a few favorite you want to mention.
Yeah, there's one where there's a punk band. Have you guys done this one?
Yes, I've done this one.
Where they're not really punk and you have to teach them how to be punk. It's just silly. I love it.
Yeah. It's all dialogue. There's no like combat or anything.
No, yeah, it's just story. Yeah. It's fun. There's
it just adds so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say another one, but go ahead.
Well, the sub stories, that's when the game gets to be playful, gets to be really playful in a storytelling way. And those like I said, they supplement the story and the characters because you like it makes it feel more like there's a wider range to this game. Like there's more to it than like a serious crime story. And I do really like that.
I do want to say something about that fake punk side mission. It did something in the dialogue where like the fake punk was the lead singer of a band was describing you and how you look, and every time he said something, the camera angle changed, and like was showing like different sides of you, and it was like funny without having to be like funny in words.
Yeah, just through like
And
editing.
through editing, and I thought that was like a nice touch because usually like in dialogue, like when you're reading a text, the camera is usually static and shows both of your people. Like in this game, the like just dialogue feels like a cutscene, kinda also, which is nice.
Yeah, I have more to say with the sub stories, but yes, when you're hitting on the cutscenes, the way they change is uh, neat. Actually, with the way they go from very cinematic to, just kind of like how do I describe it? How would you describe it? More, I'm not plain, but like kind of just there's
just kind of
like the camera becomes more, it becomes more still, but it's changing angles.
In-game graphics.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
in-game
what it
graphics.
is.
There you go. Because then we can when something really important is happening, it goes to like the really cinematic cutscenes.
I noticed something. I don't know if this works for everything, but I was reading stuff, and then like I felt like what you said when like something really important is happening, it's like okay, cutscene time. Could you? I haven't done it, but could you like skip the reading dialogue and like watch the cutscenes and like kind of understand? I'm sure you could.
I'm sure you could piece it together because I think it does do that for sure. It's like this is what's important cutscene time.
So like
Yeah.
even if you don't like reading a whole bunch, you can
Mhm.
even like do this abridged version of that.
Well, I mean, if you like reading, you're gonna have to play different. If you don't like reading, you're gonna have to
Yeah,
play a
you're
different
gonna
game.
play a different game.
Unless you
no
speak
English.
Unless you speak Japan,
Oh my
Japanese.
god!
Oh
What?
no!
You
What?
can repeat yourself if you want, so you can.
Did I say something wrong?
Edit this out right
Japan-
now.
Unless you speak Japan,
Unless you speak Japan, I guess it's.
that's not bad.
No, it's not.
No,
People
it's
say
not.
speak American. Whatever. I'll say it again.
Chris,
That's
edit
bad.
that out. Disgusting.
I'll say it. Fine. I'll fucking say it again.
Yeah.
Speak American.
Okay. Unless you speak Japanese, you're gonna, you're
Better.
gonna do a lot of reading, which is perfectly fine. I don't think you should skip any of the dialogue. I think it's,
Even if you don't speak Japanese
like
or
it's
understand Japanese, you still have to read because they don't. It's not fully voice acted.
right. But I don't complain about subtitles. I'm not one of
I
those
don't.
guys.
Yeah, I don't either.
If there was an option to put it in English, I would maybe test it out to hear what it sounds like. But
Yeah.
other than that, I don't. I think it makes it feel more authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it helps
I
with
do
it a
too.
lot.
because there's a lot of stuff that's like, I don't know if it's a lot of stuff, but in that punk mission again, bringing it back to that, there's a part where he's like, say hello, but in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like also that, and I
Yeah.
don't feel like that would work if everyone was
wa-
speaking English already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sub stories, like I said, there was one specific sub story that I got to.
Yeah.
That just really, it was really off the wall. Basically, I came across a child, and the child was like, "Can you buy this thing from this really flashy vending machine for me?" But
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
Yeah.
you go to look at the flashy vending machine, and it turned out to be a porn vending machine. And first, Kiryu's like, there's no way I'm doing this. But I'm a man of my word. Actually, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it for the child just because I'm a man of my word. But there are some women nearby, and the women are looking at him, and they're like, "What's that creep doing talking to that child?" And you're like, "Oh God, okay." So your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to buy porno for a child, but don't get embarrassed in the process. So you have to sneak by these women, and the women are just looking like left and right. It's really funny.
Yeah. No, I love that one.
And when they spot you, Kiryu's just like, "Uh-oh, I'm embarrassed now," and you have to restart.
Yeah. There's another one I really like where there's a girl that's selling her panties, like her used panties, to men across like Japan, and it's like a whole ring that it's like a
it's like a racket.
Yeah, it's like a racket.
Oh, fuck.
And there's actually one person in the racket that doesn't want to beat anymore, but is forced to do it. So you have to help her out.
It's
of
like
the
its
racket.
own crime syndicate.
Yeah, it's
fucking-
I love it. But there's also like really
fun.
cute sub stories. Like there's one where it's a crossword, like a guy wants to propose to his like girlfriend through crossword because that's how they fell in love. And you have to work together to like make it work.
Oh, that's
it's
fun.
cute. It's like there's such a nice variety in the sub stories.
Yeah, like even the side characters are oddly fleshed out, and you get to like them. Characters, one-off characters, right? But not only are there these one-off characters, but also characters you'll just randomly come across that you have to befriend. Like you just continuously going to the store and buying things from the cashier, and you'll become friends. And that's like a sub story. That is a sub story.
It is.
So, and they have there's a lot of variation, and each sub story has like elements of comedy, elements of drama, stuff that is not necessarily in the main story. So it like helps flesh out the game a lot more, and I like that a lot. But other than the sub story, there's also the mini games. I don't know how much time you spent playing mini games, William, in the amount of time you spent playing.
Not much.
Not much. It can be easy to get caught up playing the mini games, and that will just extend your playtime, really, right? You're just gonna end up spending all this time, I don't know, bowling or playing baseball. I mean, I could see you could just go through the whole game without seeing any of the mini games, some of them at least.
Yeah, you could run from story mission to story mission if you wanted to, but I think that world building is what helps, because like I'm learning how to play mahjong because of this game, and it's pretty cool. Like
when I was over at my friend buddy's house, he was playing one of the Yakuzas, and we had to learn how to play mahjong together. I know how to play mahjong now. I know all the suits and stuff.
So it's a learning tool as well, right? So.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and you can go from doing the main story to going over to the bar, getting a drink, and singing Bakamatai on the karaoke machine, and then doing it again and again and again until you perfect it, which is maybe something I did, and even if there's a mini game you don't necessarily enjoy or like the fishing, I was like, I'm not really into this.
Yeah, the fishing.
But the fact that it's there, I like that you can do it. I'm sure there's someone out there that loves the fishing in Yakuza. I guess there's a lot to talk about, and I think we've talked about a lot. But I think final thoughts on Yakuza 0.
Play it. It's on Game Pass if you have that. So,
well, let me ask you: you don't like anime? Guess what? You'll still probably like this game.
Yeah, it's good. If you like anime, you'll probably like it. So
it's got what you want from a game. If you're looking for a story-driven game, there's story.
There's two kinds of people in this world: people who like anime, people who don't like anime. You'll like Yakuza.
Either way.
Wise words. Yeah, so if you like story, boom, you got story. Oh, you like just dicking around, you got that here too. Okay,
you sure do.
And don't let the first few hours turn you off, because it's not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that it's a lot of cutscenes, and anytime I play a game where it starts off with a lot of cutscenes, I can be like, okay, I would like to get to the action now, please.
Yeah, can I play my game now, please?
It is just because I am impatient, but it is worth it.
It is worth it, and I just want to say, try the game. I loved it. I was very worried, but I really enjoyed it. And I think I love this game to become more popular in America, because I want more Yakuza here. I want it here as fast as possible, because like this game took like 2 years to get here.
I think lately it's been having a big
this
boost
game
in America.
This game was like kind of part of like where it really boosted when it came out on PS4. It's huge on Steam. Like all these Yakuza games coming out, and now 3, 4, and 5 are coming out on Xbox and PC.
Reminds me of Monster Hunter. I remember I always used to have to wait for the Monster Hunter games to come out in America.
And now Monster Hunter
Or-
is just here.
or they just wouldn't come out, and
Yeah, see, because Yakuza has like a samurai series that isn't here that I would love to play one day.
Yeah, and I see a lot of memes from Yakuza too, so that's a sign that it's made an impact here. Bakamatai, specifically, that song has become a big meme.
Was huge, yeah.
It's a big meme, so it's making an impact. All right, let's get to our next thingy. Our listen. Now I picked the listen this whole week.
oh yeah,
I picked Forced Witness, to be specific, by Alex Cameron.
I'm a man on a mission. You're a stripper out of love. And we're good in the backseat, but we're better up front. And there's blood on my knuckles, cause there's money in the trunk. Keep running out of luck. Keep running out of luck. Now there's cash on a stage. Doesn't matter what they paid. We're in love again. We're in love again. So please don't stand around me when she starts a dancing. I'm feeling like I might catch a case. We're in love again.
It is a 10 songs, 41-minute long album by Alex Cameron, an Australian musician. I guess the way I would describe it is story songs from a first-person perspective, with definitely a heavy 80s influence. A lot of layered songs with very smooth instrumentation. Oh, you want sax. Oh, piano. Oh, it sounds so good. Oh, but not only that, with this lush kind of just so catchy instrumental. Nice
Very
on the
catchy.
ears. Very nice on the ears. I'll say that. But along with that, you have these stories about just slime ball men.
Nasty, yeah.
Nasty men.
yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, because let me tell you, my first listen, except like there's a few songs that you could listen to and just totally not think about it and be like, oh, this is really nice 80s
Yeah.
ballad.
And not even notice about the lyrics.
There's definitely some songs where the lyrics really pop out at you and it's like, oh my god.
The last 4 songs
Yeah.
are kind of rough to sit through, in my opinion.
They will catch you off guard.
Is Stud Muffin 96 the song where he talks about pussy the whole time?
No,
No,
that's
okay.
the Chihuahua.
Oh yeah, the Chihuahua. Stud Muffin was right before.
And then
that.
every song after that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not the only. Yeah, look, the Chihuahua's not the only one where he sings about it.
He sings about it a lot. And
the word pussy, the amount it's said in this album.
it's I'm usually not one to get like what you said the other day, Nathan. I'm not usually one to get like put off by words.
Yeah.
But he says it so many times.
It's just like
it's like, oh shit.
I get it, buddy.
Right.
But it's funny. Like the first time I listened to it, I laughed. I think lyrically it does a good job of making you laugh.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's despite being songs like sung from the perspectives of very gross people, it is very funny too. There is a lyric will always catch me off guard and just I'll be laughing. So yeah, he sings about, I guess, for lack of a better term, toxic masculinity from the perspective from like it sounds like he's singing from his own perspective, but he's very much taking the role of like these characters that he made up. Because his first album is all from the perspective of like a failed entertainer. Like just this old guy who thinks he deserves, the world because he once had a show that was popular. So it's like he's singing from his like privileged point of view. Like he deserves all this stuff, but the world has passed him by. And originally this album was supposed to be a prequel to that, where the guy like goes home and like it's just like this like maybe vivacious would be a term, very horny scumbag. But then it became something else where it's like I feel like each song here is from the perspective of a different character. Almost.
I think so. And I think it like shows like even an instrumentation, because it's almost like each song is a parody of a different 80s artist. Like some songs sound like Bruce Springsteen, some sound like a Bryan Adams type ballad. It's it definitely changes a lot, but it definitely keeps that consistent 80s sound. But I do think each song is like something like different enough to where it's like, okay, this is a different person singing, you know, like a different characteristic.
Yeah. Like the 80s influence, I think, is not only in the instrumentation, but in the lyrics. Because like it's almost like he's parodying old hits from like the 70s and 80s. Like for example, I was listening to a playlist today on Spotify and My Sharona played. And that song is about a guy trying to have sex with younger women.
Really?
I mean, like, you know, it starts with, ooh, my little pretty one, my pretty one. When you gonna give me some time, Sharona? I'm guessing Sharona might be a younger woman. I mean, there's plenty of, listen to the lyrics of a lot of old 80s songs. It's basically about some guy being a creep. But
watching
the way they portray it, the way they portray in that song is kind of maybe not fully aware.
Yeah, this is like if a worse lyricist made that song. It wasn't as hidden.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, you know what I mean. It's just like
more explicit.
Yeah, more upfront.
Yeah,
about it.
That's the thing about it. It's kind of transgressive in that sense. It is very. It's like, you know, he wants the listener to be grossed out by this scumbag. You know, in those songs, they're trying to. At the time, they sounded cool, right? Like, this is a cool guy out, you know, he's being a guy. He's being a guy's guy.
Being a guy.
And I think that's what Alex Cameron really wants to get across, is that, like, guys, kind of a gross concept, just nasty.
And I feel like lyrically, he's definitely self-aware, right? Because, like, I don't think a scumbag would a scumbag actually write this? Like, it's too...
It is.
I don't know.
They would. What?
It's too gross. Well, like
because a scumbag would try to keep it hidden, right? That they're like a piece of garbage.
Throughout the music, throughout the songs, there will be a random moment of self-awareness, and the point he's trying to make is like he's self-aware for a second, and then in the next second he's like, never mind. Like that song Marlon Brando is actually, that's like the main point of that song. Is that
song.
This guy's trying to sleep with another guy's girlfriend. And he's kind of like, well, is this worth it? Am I a good person? And then in the end, he's like, I'm like Marlon Brando, baby. He was a big star, baby.
That's the one where he tells the girl to tell the other guy something like.
Yes, yeah, that's the song where he's well, it goes, he called me that, and tell him that he's actually that.
Tell him that if he calls me that again, like instead of like him saying it to him, he's using this girl that they're both trying to get with.
And I think Chris brought that up really well. It's definitely like a play on toxic masculinity, like the whole like, yeah, you tell him that I'm mad at him, you know, like this weird like,
instead of telling him yourself.
Yeah, where he's actually a little bitch, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And on his next album, Miami Memory, he's not in character there. But he talks, that becomes like a third person storytelling where he's singing about awful people.
Oh, really?
And I get why he did that. Right. He still wanted to make songs like off of Force Witness, but in the current climate, it can be difficult to make something like Force Witness. And, you know, people think this guy's a scumbag, probably alt-right piece of shit. Right.
Yeah. He made it at like, in this album's from 2017. And I think I was talking about it like 2017. I think that's interesting. Some of the stuff he says, even then I was like, wow, I can't believe this like came out. It feels like much earlier.
He says some fucking rough shit.
He probably, like, you know, subtlety died when Trump became president, of course. And he probably started working on this before Trump was president. But yeah, he definitely, I mean, look, like he's making fun of those guys. I would definitely recommend listening to Miami Memory, where he kind of talks about how he writes, like he kind of talks about, you know, being, I guess his girlfriend told him, write what you feel. Don't worry about how people perceive it. You know, write the characters. You know, write what they would say. And yeah, it's messed up stuff, but that's what you're trying to get across.
Yeah. I mean, it's like any piece of literature or anything. Like you have a character, and then if it has something to say, it has something to say.
Yeah, and I don't know if it makes it more accessible. It probably makes it more accessible. The fact that it's also very lush pop music, right?
Yeah,
80s
yeah.
inspired pop music.
Yeah, no, like the the 80s, like the sensibility, because we're talking about he's saying horrible things, but these songs are like they hit. They're really good. They sound really nice. They sound like 80s hits. Like he's written 80s hits.
Yeah,
here.
if you're like, if this popped on the radio, it wouldn't. But if this popped on the radio and you're not really paying attention, just driving, you wouldn't blink an eye. You wouldn't. It just sounds like, well, most of the songs.
Yeah, there's some
First half.
yeah, because I think
First half of the album.
me and you talked about how like kind of like I think it loses itself a little at the end. Maybe could have been cut a little shorter. I would have been okay with. There's one song, the Hacienda, which is just a straight out parody of Hotel California, right? Is that like what they're going for, or he's going for? Yeah, and yeah, it's I don't know. That song was the one song that I was just like, I don't know about this one.
Like a getaway for just people that want to cheat on their wives, like
exactly
creepy guys. Sorry, 1 second. I lost my Google page. God damn it!
While he's finding the Google page, how's your day, name? How's your day, listener?
Oh, well, I'm back.
Yeah.
I found the
Chris.
Google page. The listener doesn't have time to say how their day's been going. Just
be quiet. The boys are talking.
Run through the songs a little bit. I'll just run through it a little quick. Just talk about, like, emphasize the themes.
Every song?
No, I'm not every song. I'll highlight a few. Maybe my favorites.
Candy May.
Well, Candy May, starter song. That's about a guy who's in an abusive relationship, but he keeps coming back. Right?
I like Running Out of Luck.
I was gonna say Running Out of Luck is my favorite song.
Yeah,
I think it's really good. That's definitely like the most like 80s ballad. Have you guys ever listened to War on Drugs?
No.
It sounds very similar to them. It's kind of like, except a bit more poppy.
Right, and that's another instance.
Yeah.
It is a ballad song.
Yeah.
That's the one with Angel Olsen.
Oh no, that's Stranger's Kiss.
Stranger's Kiss. I should know
which is good. Which is a great song.
I should know that. Well, yeah, Running Out of Luck. That one's kind of about, well, you know, some of them are not as straightforward. some of them are a little more abstract. Some are much more straightforward. A good example of a song that is much more straightforward is True Lies. I love that song, and that song is about a guy who gets his kicks messaging women online.
Yes,
and there's one particular person he loves emails that sends him pictures of her beautiful eyes.
Yeah, her beautiful eyes.
He's like, I love the rhyme, beautiful eyes, even if it's, you know, just some Nigerian guy.
Yeah, doesn't he send her a bunch of money and stuff?
Yes.
Like, it's definitely like
yeah.
You know, he doesn't care if it's a lie. He just doesn't care. That's what, you know, that's the only feeling he has, is doing that. And I mean, it definitely explores that theme of just cheating and also internet porn or messaging women online on the internet. And like, there's one song in particular where the character is basically a pedophile saying that he can only, you know, get off if it's, you know, a barely legal teen. He's like waiting for a girl. He's waiting for a girl to become 17. I think that's Stud Muffin, right?
Stud Muffin.
Is it Stud Muffin?
I believe so. That's another great song. And I would disagree. You said to cut the final song. Politics of Love, I think, is a fantastic song.
No, not the final song. I mean, like just that final
stretch
somewhere in there.
Like I guess, Hacienda you could possibly cut.
But
maybe cut it. Maybe Chihuahua, Hacienda. Sure. I'll offer that.
I complained about Chihuahua saying pussy so much, but the chorus on that is really good. Where he's like, it's
Okay.
really good. I don't know what it is, but I hear it and I'm like, okay, I jam with it a little. It's just like there's little glimmers of like good, like Marlon Brando, which we talked about, where he says, I feel like Marlon Brando circa 1999, which was like he died like a few years later. This is like old man Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
I think that's so silly.
that's the irony of it. That is such a funny line. Holy
I
shit!
love
Because
that.
he's singing about a big fat guy who
Yeah.
became reclusive.
It was like,
That's pretty good.
oh my god. See, that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's songs I can complain about, but there's like these little hints of great,
Yeah.
this funny.
No,
lyrics.
there's some brilliant jokes on this whole album. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, but I guess to finish it off, I'll say this was probably my favorite album. Well, it's one of my favorite albums, but of 2017, I think it was my favorite album. I've just listened to it so many times, and Alex Cameron has become one of my favorite musicians. And his other albums I really like a lot. I think they're also pretty great. Definitely, like Jumping the Shark. That is a lot more minimal, and maybe it feels like he made it in his bedroom. But there's still some great storytelling.
That's his
there.
first album, right?
Yeah, there's some
It's a
great
debut.
storytelling there, and I think he gets even darker on that one. I think a great album, definitely worth checking out. On the production scale, lyrical scale, and just like listening, it's a great listening experience. And it's one of those albums that went under the radar a little bit when it came out. And luckily, I checked it out. Actually, it was Anthony Fantano that was talking about like underrated albums of that year, and he mentioned that, and I was just like just randomly, like I'll pick that and listen to it, and it turned out to be one of my favorites. So that paid off. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I came out of it really enjoying it. I think it's a really like funny experience. I think it's like lyrically funny, but also like sounds really nice if you like 80s music. It's good. I'd recommend this album, but of course, with the warning, like the lyrics are a little wacky, but I think it's a worthwhile experience. I'm glad you recommended it, Chris. I'm definitely going to check out Alex Cameron's other work.
Yeah, it was all right. I already said this. I don't know. I liked it at the beginning. I was like, oh, this is funny. This is, sounds nice, but it's not nice. And then you get a few songs in, it's like, okay, sounds nice, not nice. And like, I guess other than like some lines, the overarching joke is kind of the same, right? Where like it's kind of like catchy 80s pop, but like they're scumbags. I don't know. I like the first half of the album, and then it gets rough because it kind of loses that like it can be overlooked if you're not really paying attention. With more of the
like really on the nose.
With some more of the harsher lyrics.
So I guess that's it, folks. Now I guess best in show. This time around, let's do something a little different for best in show. I want you to say your pick and why. Usually we just say it.
Our pick and why.
Your pick and why. What's your pick and why, huh?
Yakuza.
Yeah. Okay. Why?
Well, why, mother
why?
effer?
Because it's very fun, and I would like to revisit it. I do not want to revisit the album or the movie anytime soon.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I would pick you. Yeah.
Well, why don't you want to revisit, huh? You want to go through the whole podcast again, recite every opinion you had, buddy?
Because I feel like, well, I guess it doesn't count because I've finished the other two. I haven't finished Yakuza, so I'm not really revisiting it. I'm actually finishing it. But yeah, I think Yakuza was a more enjoyable time for the time I spent on it.
All right, you did it. You explained it. Well, look, I was between the album and the game, just because the album, obviously, I love the album, and I'm enjoying the game a lot, but I haven't finished the game, so I was like, if I pick the game, would I be actually,
What if the ending absolutely fucking sucks? Right? What if it fucking bombs so hard? 80 hours in, I played this game for 500 hours. Negative review.
but,
Yeah, 500 hours in, it's bad.
Stinky.
I think I'll go with the game, just because, from what I've played so far, it's been a pretty great experience that has hit on a lot of different things that I like from something, right? Feels like a full-fledged experience. And I guess the album is coming on hot, right? Coming up right behind it. But I will pick Yakuza, just because for a game that I've already spent 15 hours in, I want to put 15 more hours into it, right?
Yeah.
I want to keep playing it until it's finished.
So your hands fall off.
Yeah.
And
Your fuzzy ass hands.
yeah, those nasty, sweaty, fuzzy hands, stubby.
My perfectly
Call
normal
back.
hands. Now, what
But-
about you, Nathan?
Well, Yakuza 0. It's it. Yeah. I put so many hours into it, and I'm still putting hours into it, after beating it. So it's just something I really want. Now, I do appreciate that I the other media, but something about Yakuza, when I first played that, it kind of changed my perspective. It introduced a lot of things to me. Like, it made me want to watch more Japanese movies, look into more Japanese games. So I really appreciate it for that.
Right.
It
is something special,
Mhm.
for sure.
Also, like I feel like I'm kind of biased towards video games.
Well,
Well,
I don't know.
You got a
Me-
bias there,
Maybe
buddy?
not.
media's hard.
is
Comparing
hard.
media,
'Cause
like
they're all
comparing music,
so
movies,
different.
and video games. Yeah, different
Right?
because video games, you spend I spent 80 hours on Yakuza. That's 80 hours of your life spent on a game. Like, compared to a movie, which is like 2 hours.
Right.
Not
I feel like we haven't said this too much recently, but the whole thing of what media is the best is a joke. And it's it's impossible to really compare these things to each
Yeah.
other.
And when we say we're consuming media, that's a joke too.
yes. Oh yeah.
Because like people always say consuming, as a negative thing, and but wouldn't it be funny to say, oh yeah, today I consumed a Tarkovsky film, Stalker.
Yeah, I was just binging some of The Last Exorcism.
Yeah,
Right.
just
Watched all of it.
watched the commentary. Watched
Watched
it with
all of it in one sitting.
It passed right
one
through
sitting.
me. It passed right through me like a
Binge. Ooh, like a bad
Taco Bell combo
Chipotle.
meal. Right. Yeah. No. I'm not putting on Barry Lyndon, and it's passing through me like a solid turd.
You're telling
like
me
air that's passing through me, right?
You don't do a Kubrick's binge. You just sit back, The Shining, Barry Lyndon, 2001, just
Yeah.
binge it all
Well,
day.
actually,
Oh yeah.
when I
Uh-huh.
actually, I'd never seen a Kubrick film before Ready Player One. And when I saw Ready Player One, I was like, I should go home and just
And watch
binge
all of
watch
them.
this guy's filmography.
Uh-huh.
But they were boring.
They were stupid. What the hell?
I watched 2001 on 2,000 times speed. It was about 1 second long, actually.
Oh my god.
Look,
I can't believe there's a whole scene in that damn movie set in the Shining universe, right?
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, he does
There
a
is?
crossover. Yes, there is.
The Shining. Okay.
It's embarrassing.
Alright.
It's
Yeah.
embarrassing and awful.
You like Kubrick?
Ew.
Ew.
It's
Even though never
it-
mind.
I mean, that movie is basically unironically doing like the consume thing, but
Yeah,
with
pretty much.
with The Shining, where it's,
It's like, oh, look, Tomb Raiders in Shining World, right? Well, that didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, Tomb Raiders in
It
the
is-
background.
Tomb Raider's there.
it is equating. It's equating to the work of Kubrick to like an Avatar image. Like you have like, it's equating. It's like on the same level in Ready Player One, right?
An Xbox Live Avatar.
Right. An image, a shallow image that
A
is
Gaia
just there.
Online avatar.
Yeah,
But-
you know the little cat girl Xbox Live image that shows
That
up in the
one.
background for 2 seconds. It's really great.
But dude, it's
So
epic.
does the soccer ball.
Yeah, the little yeah. You know that game Hexic? Fucking just the little
monkey-
octagon,
the
the
little
monkey.
monkey, yeah.
That shows up. Thank you, Spielberg. Big Xbox head.
When you think
A
about
boom
it,
block.
when you think about it, The Shining is just like a series of. It's just a series of reaction gifs at the end of the day.
Oh fuck! Should we do a Spielberg episode
Oh, that would be fun.
where we do like boom blocks?
Boom blocks. One of his movies. He's probably done. We could probably do a movie soundtrack or something, right?
I had an
That'd be
idea.
fun.
I had an idea for a James Bond thing, like
That'd
a
be cool.
James Bond month. And the way we would do it is, one episode would be 2 movies, the next episode 2 games, 2 movies, 2 games. 'Cause I don't think there's but we could do like a mini album episode about something new.
What would we do the GoldenEye remake?
Yeah, like a Bond month, because there's so
Whoa.
many James Bond games and so many James Bond movies that.
What if you played GoldenEye and the GoldenEye remake?
Yeah,
Like,
there you
that'd
go.
be really good.
Yeah, and then we could do like some more obscure James Bond games. Like I really
Yeah.
like Nightfire as a kid.
I've
Really
always
loved
wanted to
that
play
game.
from Russia with Love, that game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And we can throw in just like a new album review in the middle just to kind of keep
Yeah.
that going. Yeah,
And
that's good.
Yeah, that's an idea I had today. Like a Bond month.
Mhm.
I think that would be fun.
Well,
and
I
if we
think
wanted
maybe that's
to,
how we should do marathons now. Like maybe 2 movies, 2 games, and like an album or
Yeah.
something.
I
Yeah.
think I came up with the idea because I was at Goodwill today, and somebody just gave away 4 sets of James Bond movies. So it was like
Holy crap.
it was like 4 volumes, 4 movies each on
You pick 'em up?
DVD. No, that was $10 each. That's
Oh.
expensive. That's expensive for,
For
a Goodwill.
Goodwill. For Goodwill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
guess,
did
yeah.
I did find Skyfall on Blu-ray, and I bought that for $2.
Hey, Skyfall's really good.
It was at the cashier. It was at the, you know how they have the DVD crates
We
right
could
next to the
do-
cashier?
Yeah.
We could do what's her fucking name?
Oh, Adele. Yeah, we could just do Adele.
There you go.
album.
Correct. Actually, you know what? James, I mean, every fucking movie
Wait.
has a song.
Yeah, we could just do.
Every
We could
movie
just
has a
listen to
song.
the James Bond themes.
Oh, we're
Ugh.
fucking dummies, huh?
We're stupid.
What?
Well, no,
We
we
could-
came across it eventually.
We could do the best James Bond theme, and I'm not going to spoil it right here. So
Is it Goldfinger?
no, not Goldfinger.
Oh, okay. Octopussy.
The newest one, the Billie Eilish one. The shit's so good.
You think that's
Oh,
the
is
best
it?
one? Wow.
It is. I think so. It's
We
good.
could save that. You know what? Why don't we do Bond month? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all probably gonna be cut out because this is like side media boys talk, deciding what we're gonna do next. Right? Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Please send more mail. If you said something, you heard something you didn't agree with, send an email. We'd love to hear it for real.
You can also find me on the street and beat me up if if that's how you get your kicks.
Yeah, you could
Email
beat all of us up.
Email us about what we talking about James Bond over there. Now you can't cut it out, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about James Bond.
Uh-oh, he's still gonna cut it out.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I guess on the next episode we'll be talking about a little 2020 recap. All our favorite stuff from 2020, our little lists. We'll be going through it a little bit, which means I got to watch some more 2020 stuff. Oh my god. What do you have to say, William?
Huh? Oh no, maybe you still can cut it out. Uh-oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have permission now.
You're talking about a thing that already happened or didn't happen. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows how well you can edit out the voices?
Yeah, let's test little Chrissy's editing skills.
Editing chops. Fucking. Did
Yeah.
we or did we not talk about James Bond? Find out.
Next episode.
This
Find
episode.
out a few
You've
minutes ago,
already- yeah, find out a few minutes
Oh
ago.
yeah.
All right.
or don't.
Right.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. Bye everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Email us at
you.
mediaboys@gmail.com.
Like and
We already said
subscribe
that, I think.
to the YouTube channel. Media
YouTube
Boys
channel.
Podcast.
Media
All right.
Boys _pod on damn Twitter.
have a great life. See you next week.
We'll see you next episode. Bye.